All right, friends. Cool beans. Okay, we should be live. It looks like we are. Cool. So, thank you for anyone who shows up tonight or anyone who watches this later. This is just meant to be a super chill evening. We're going to be working on a character for my back burner series, as I call it, called Underworld, which is a manga anime inspired series of this gang, quote unquote, gang of criminals who look to make crime nicer by taking over the recently vacated seat of Underlord, which is the sort of world leader of sorts for the criminal underworld. Without going into too much exposition, that's what we'll give you for now. But I think tomorrow is the big Inherited Soul event for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. A lot of people are speculating that it means that the Stone Ocean anime is going to end up becoming confirmed. So I guess we'll see about that. As a fan of JoJo's, I figured that tonight, since I was in the mood to stream, but I didn't know what I would stream about, I figured I would go ahead and do something related to that. So tonight we are going to be working on an original character for Underlord, which is heavily inspired by JoJo's as well as One Piece and Black Clover. Yeah, we're going to use Araki. I'm going to butcher his name. Hirohiki Araki's character sheet that he uses for each new character he creates. Now, he is probably going at different spots than I would to start. I'm going to start at the very top of the list, and we'll check out the character sheet here in just a second. But I'm going to go at the very top and just go from top to bottom. And we might have some people who have different projects and whatnot coming up here that might pop in to pitch that or to talk about that for a bit, or they might just come and hang out, and this stream takes a turn to a hangout stream. But either way, the goal is to be working on this idea, this new character for Underworld that'll be designed here soon enough. So let's see here. I'm so bad with StreamYard, I haven't used it as much as other things. Okay. So it should work. Okay. It says we are now sharing. Perfect. So this is Hirohiki Araki's character creation / history template. This is very similar, if not the exact sort of deal that he does for a new JoJo's character. And for those of you who don't know JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I do not know how to describe it other than a multi-generational epic of one family against the evils of the world. And that doesn't even begin to cover what you will find in that series. But he when he's creating characters, he looks at like music and fashion and a lot of Western influences, despite it being an Eastern product, which is kind of cool. It's kind of cool. So he'll have characters who their abilities or their names are based on Western properties. So there's a character who has an ability that is titled Metallic, as in like the band, which is interesting. But his power revolves around the iron, natural occurring iron, both in people and in the world, and just things like that. And so he'll think about the abilities and the skills of a character. Which I think is, here. So he'll start around here, and then he'll expand from there. What kind of person would have this? Because the characters in JoJo, their powers starting on season 2/part 3 onward are sort of formed from their fighting spirit. So they kind of reflect the character in a way. So he starts about here and then expands out. Tonight, and I don't have this fancy version I'm going to be working on. I'm going to be working on a Google Doc. Sorry for it not being as attractive as this, but that's what we got to work with. So I'll be starting up here because I do know the character's name, and we'll talk about that here in a second. And we'll work our way down to others in terms of whatever this situation might be for the character. And so this is going to be a live session where we're figuring this stuff out, and we'll see what happens. But I've got the Google Doc that I'll share here. Let me go ahead and stop screen share. There we go. And we'll figure it out. We'll see how it goes, and whatever happens, happens. So let's see here. Let's check. Real quick, I do want to share before we get started, even though we're kind of already started. Bill Jersey, if you don't know him, you need to know him. Check him out on Instagram and Twitter. This is a character design he did for Underlord. So it's 3 parts here, but this is Chloe Bowerdo, who is the first antagonist that the protagonists of Underlord will find themselves up against. She's this fortune teller who always seems to predict that her clients will experience death in the near future. But she's really, really nice in that she'll offer up an opportunity that if you pay her, she'll keep the spirits at bay. You just have to keep paying her so that she'll keep them off your back. She's just so nice like that. Bill largely, so he took my ideas and my description sheet that I sent him and came up with this, which is really, I think, really fun. And you can see, like, Bill is just a different breed of artist here. He has all these notes. He didn't just do the design as I asked. He added all of these notes. So you get to dive even deeper to this character, and I get to dive even deeper. I get to see what Bill was thinking when he was creating this character with me. And so this is her full body and outfit here. Very kind of peacock-esque. And a close-up of her face. Again, all these notes. All these notes. So, so cool. I really appreciate Bill. And I think Bill is also one of the best weapon designers I've ever come across when working with artists here. I think, because I had just mentioned that she had a knife that she always keeps on her for, various purposes, just to protect people from spirits, obviously. But kind of kept up with almost right here, the peacock theme. And I think he did a really exceptional job. And I greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate Bill for that. So go check him out, Bill Jersey, on Twitter and Instagram. Great dude, too. Really positive, friendly dude. So now we are going to go ahead and get started on this tonight. Again, this is just a chill stream, kind of like how I think I can call him buddy at this point. My buddy Tyler Carpenter of Draw and Talk, he has streams where he just sort of chills and talks and works. Now, when writers are doing stuff, it's not nearly as attractive as when artists are scribbling away on the page and making beautiful artwork, like my buddy Tyler or Ichthus or Nick. When they're drawing or whatnot on streams or for videos, it's really, really interesting. So we can't really do as much here as writers, but we're here to talk and hang out and do whatever's necessary. But thank you for coming by, friends, and I appreciate y'all. It really means the world to me. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Well, you know that Rebel Comics, what's his name? Oh, Larry? Yeah, Larry. Yeah, he's a great guy. Really solid dude. Larry Rebel Comics in the chat right now. Thank you so much for coming by. I feel very blessed that someone with so much talent would stop by such a small production. It means a lot, man. Thank you. Let's see here. Oh, let me switch over here. And we have, oh goodness, please forgive me if I mess up. Mattia Barbetti. If I mess up, please forgive me and correct me. I'm an English as a second language teacher, so making sure that I get names right is important to me. So please always correct me if I ever butcher your name. So Underworld, like I said, is a comic or manga, whatever you want to consider it. It's sequential art. It's going to be in black and white, and it's inspired by both Western and Eastern works. So you're gonna see lots of different things. But I wanted to do. I had an idea a couple years ago called Saint Savage, which wasn't my favorite thing, but it had an interesting premise to me of this dude who just didn't get it. He had some sort of social thing messed up in his brain to where his idea of a better world is not to get rid of crime, but just to have better people running crime, have nicer, kinder, more polite, more organized people running crime. And I figured I'd run with that and try and tell it at a level that's more friendly to all audiences. And so that's what I'm going to be running with here in Underworld is this gang of people uh, who some have abilities, some don't, but they are looking to take over this seat. Oh, this is supposed to say Underlord. Oops. Ah, Underlord. But so there's these two seats of power in Underlord. You have the Underlord, who is the ruler of all criminal activities in this world, right? You have to register as a criminal, which sounds like a ridiculous thing, obviously, but if you don't register, they either force it on you or you're executed immediately. So it benefits you if you ever have committed a crime or are looking to get into that world, which is a more dog eat dog world. It's better to just register unless you want to die immediately and not in a quick and painless way. So that the Underlord rules that side, and they're they're sort of just in charge of all that. And then the government, who obviously rules the more aristocracy types and the common people who aren't committing crimes, they are led by the Overlord, who is essentially just the counterpart to the Underlord, sort of that balancing act. If they're constantly in a battle of checks and balances to keep each other from gaining too much control. If those two positions ever fight, something is probably about to go horribly wrong. Okay, so we have a couple characters that we've created. Like I said, Bill has worked on that, and we also have other people who are working on some of the protagonists. Tonight we are working on a character who already does have a name, thankfully, of Camry Hill. Most of the characters who are on the protagonist side of Underlord are going to be named after close friends of mine because it is a series that is going to deal with friendship and loyalty and things like that. I figured it would be fun to name them after my own friends. And we got Russo in the chat. How's it going, Russo? Ayo, back at you. Thank you all for stopping by. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Like I said, we're going over this, character creation, Araki style. All these sort of things are the same things, same exact things. I just typed it up today that you're going to find on his character design sheet, which I just had up before, and I don't know where I put it, but that's okay. So we're just going through, we're hanging out. Hope you're all having a good night. Tell me what you're up to, what you're thinking about tonight. Russo, I wish I could, man. I wish I could. If I wasn't paying so much for my artist to do up my comic or to do character designs, I'd definitely be tuning in. Are you gonna watch the event? Let's see here. She's gonna be in the early 20s. Yeah, she's female. Yeah, I am a huge JoJo's fan. I think it was this year that I really finally got into it. So I'm super excited. I'm hoping Stone Ocean gets announced. Honestly, if they're calling it as big as it is, I would love if they announce Stone Ocean, and especially with how much Araki loves Steel Ball Run and JoJolion, I would hope that they would at least announce one of those two. No, but unfortunately, I won't be tuning in for the event as much as I would love to. Let's see here. Birth sign. So the world of Underlord is not in our world. It's going to be a brand new sort of planet world sort of deal. So it's not going to be exactly like this. But so I'm going to go with more season. We're going to go ahead and already make our first alteration here. And we're just going to say that she was born in the summer. And again, different sort of deal here, but we'll say she is, oh gosh. Sure. And her birthplace is going to be in a popular village that we're going to be exploring at the beginning of the story. Is going to be Pinchy Village, which is a play on a popular scam where, because we're dealing with criminal activity here, where there's going to be people who will jump in front of cars and whatnot in order to scam people out of money. You'll see that. So this village is going to be a nomadic village. It's going to be a village built of tents, trailers, and temporary structures that they purposefully build so that the quote-unquote town square is right in the middle of the road. So if you're driving or if you're riding a horse or whatever down the road, you either have to figure out a good way to get through the town by weaving around everything, or you have to take a longer detour than you might expect in order to get around the town. They do that so they can possibly sue people for breaking their things. That's why they build temporary buildings. That's why they don't invest too much in anywhere to stay long term. It's all about how they can scam people out of money. But I think it's like a ping. I think I've changed the spelling of it a bit. But if you look, I think it's PNGCHI. It is a type of scam where people will act like they've been hit by a car and fake injury in order to scare people into giving them money. We're going to say about 5'8". We're going to go with the Napoleon height. Keep it real close together. I'm not looking to have too many giant characters or super short characters. you'll see in a lot of comic media, it seems, if you want to make someone look bad, have them outside the norm of height and weight, and it's easier to make them look like the bad one, the bad person. Weight, I don't have an exact number here, so we're just going to say fit. Clearly, Araki is very thorough when he's doing this. And he has to be a bit more than I have to be. I can work with an artist. I don't have a super strict deadline that I have to follow. I don't have to have something ready for you next week, an entire chapter, while adding new characters and new storylines and all this sort of stuff. I don't have to have that ready for you. I can work with an artist and really interpret with them what the vision should be. We're going to say black hair color and brown eyes. So far, this is really, really simple stuff. I know once we get further down, it's probably going to be a little more difficult because we have to really expand on who she is as a person, what her abilities are. When we come across her in Underlord, we're going to be finding out about the power system within Underlord, which I'm really excited about because I think it takes enough inspiration from creators that I respect while also putting my own spin on it so that it is also, sort of completely my own thing at the same time as respecting those who have created before me. So we're going to give her some glasses. We're going to give her some, oh goodness. Yeah, we're going to give her some glasses. We're going to say thick rims on those as well. Okay. When I'm creating a character for Underlord, and you obviously want features for all of your characters that have something that is recognizable, right? And for Underlord, and as you might have seen with Chloe Belrido earlier in the video, the whole idea of peacocking, it's great that she's the first character that got fully created for the series because you need something like a peacock to draw in your audience's attention, right? It makes sense. We're gonna keep her right-handed. So glasses, obviously, thick rim glasses are not something that alone will pull someone in, but it's going to slowly add to it. None of the other characters have glasses yet. It's just every little thing that we can use to separate her from the other characters, we're gonna go for it. Type of voice. We're gonna say as deep. We're just gonna say deeper female voice. Let's keep it safe. The real Kimry is an incredibly kind, sweet, amazing person who has just one of the most beautiful hearts I've ever come across. A friend who I am so, so, so happy that I met. So happy. She's amazing. Histories of surgeries, cavities, illnesses. I think that this is going to... She's definitely going to be a part, or something along these lines here. So we're going to have failed chest and arm surgeries. So we'll have that, and we'll do with that as we will. We'll say scars left over. So there will be a distinct sort of look to her arm and chest area on one side, but we'll get to that here in a hot second. Scars, burns, skin damage, birthmarks, tattoos. We're going to have some village, let's say some tattoos representative of hometown. Something that, like, I want, in the same way that all the islands in One Piece that they go to, they sort of have a feel, they have a culture of their own. I want that to be the same thing here with the towns and villages in Underlord. I want them to have a feel. I want, if we go back to visit a place in the story and we don't use a caption box to show it, I want there to be ways of you knowing that you are where you are if you've been there before. And that might sound a bit rambly, but but it's something that I'm very, very certain that I want. So I think some working with my artists to come up with some tattoos and ideas that might give some insight into the culture would be pretty cool to have. So let's see here. Other physical distinctive characteristics: nose, eye shape, posture, body size, legs, moles. So here we're going to say that she is missing her right arm and uh, up. Let's see here. Upper chest on right side, heavily scarred from past injuries. Okay. Again, not the typical sort of deal here. So, and we'll get into this here in a bit because I have an idea of what her power is going to be, but I'm still working through it in a way because it's down to two different powers, and we'll get to there. But we're going to say she's black, and there is no, I don't have any religions set yet for the world. I am considering what that would or should look like. Oops. What that would or should look like. So for now, I'm just going to put NA because if I said something now, I would just be pulling something out of my rear end, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be as clean and smooth with this as possible. Let's see here. Criminal record, awards, education. So she is going to school, going to an academy to be a barber. So Camry will be a barber in this world when we come across her. No criminal record, despite her eventually joining a gang. No criminal record when we come across her. Formative experiences as an infant, young child, plus whoever was involved. Let's see here. And the only scam, again, these are most things that I'm coming up with here are going to be on the spot. I knew I was going to name her Camry. I knew her age, sex, and I knew her her race. That's it. That's all I knew going into this. So most of the stuff I'm coming up with on the spot. These are things that I'm thinking about because I'm constantly thinking about the character. My mind is just sort of running at a faster pace here. There's probably going to be some stuff that I add. There's probably going to be some stuff that I delete. But this is just how we're running with it tonight. How's it going? The legend himself. The chat smells like cheese. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that you can smell the chat. That's quite the ability you have there, my friend. So, yeah. And the only scam she ever took part in, she unfortunately lost a limb. Oh my goodness, and almost died. So, I'm just thinking through these things of different sorts of little things here and there that can just add to her overall design when we get to that point. And so a missing arm is going to be part of it. That's just something that has come up as I'm working through this and thinking about the power system that she'll have and whatnot, and running with that. Sexual history, lovers, thoughts towards marriage, romance. As far as I'm aware, for most of my work, I am not super interested in telling love or romance stories. So for the most part, for all these characters, if I were to be working with Araki's format here, I'm not going to be really putting too much energy into that just because it is not my type of thing. Let's see here. The legend himself, best self-made profile picture. I would say that of the people who would claim that, you are definitely at the top of the people who would claim that. It is a great profile picture. Well done. Well done, the legend himself. Let's see here. People they look up to, people they hate. Let's say that she's going to be looking up to her mentor, obviously, at the Barber Academy. And the people she's going to hate will be because they will be interacting. Let's say the Bordeaux family. Yes, that last name is obnoxious, and no, I do not care. It's purposefully so. Just wait until you get more of the family members in there past Chloe. Dreams for the future. She's going to the academy to become a barber at the time in Underlord. Her dream for the future. Let's see here. What is going to drive her? Something has to push her to grow into a role within the gang. This one's going to be difficult. So we've made it to, well, this is obviously, a lot of these are just ginormous font sizes here. But we have made it to page 4 before we're finally getting stumped here a little bit. Dreams for the future. Let's hold off on that one. Let's put some stars next to this one, because I want to come up with something, but I'm not 100% sure yet. So fears. I'm going to say stalkers. I'm going to say dogs. And we're going to say fire. Stalkers, dogs, and fire. These are going to be the 3 things that Miss Camry is not going to be a fan of. Personality traits, favorite scenes, habits. Never letting somebody walk right behind her. Checking left twice, and right once whenever walking through a doorway. If I pause a lot, friends, it's just seeing in case anyone's popping into the back room here and I need to let them in. Habits, personality traits, favorite sayings. I don't know any favorite sayings I'm going to add yet. I feel like that's something that's going to develop a bit more over time once I start writing for the character. But I think probably for other characters, it's going to be more simple. Like I said at the beginning of this is a character that I'm coming up with on the spot. And as you can see up here as well, dreams for the future deal, we're still working through some things as we are typing all this out. But that's part of the fun, is coming up with this stuff. It should be fun. If it's not fun to create characters, I hope that you reconsider either why you're doing it or reconsider your methods, because it should be fun. Sometimes writing those necessary exposition scenes or necessary, who knows what scenes, those necessary scenes to get from point A to point B, those aren't always the most fun. But if you create great characters, they can make the transition there so much more fun. Let's see here. Listens to listen, not to respond. Sometimes forgets to respond. Okay, so we'll make her an exceptional listener, but maybe her communication flaw is that she's such a good listener that she forgets to respond sometimes. All right, so let's leave this section here, the personality traits, favorite sayings, and habits section here for a second, and move on to relationships, including behavior. So on the character sheet, it said including behavior on these two and some of the ones down here, but I think I quit writing it because I didn't quite know to what extent this was supposed to be. Anyway, all right, so relationships. So we have a mentor figure. We don't know who this mentor figure is going to be yet. And we're going to say uncle-like relationship. Or, yeah, actually, let's go. Uncle sounds odd. Let's say grandfather-like relationship. Let's add a little age there. And again, sometimes I'll just add brackets. These brackets usually help me when creating a character, creating a name, a race of some sort, like a monster or whatever. These brackets tell me, okay, when you were writing this, you did not know who this was going to be or what they were going to be, what they were going to look like, things like that. So this is something that you need to figure out before going too far into a story. So I definitely recommend that. I know in journalism and whatnot, the brackets are used to sort of replace what someone said for context and things like that. I use it in this method. And we're going to use it again here for a stalker, somebody who horribly injured Camry in her only scam attempt. So whoever took Camry's arm is this stalker character, and they will be, and the antagonist will build up. I have an idea in my mind who it would be, but I don't have a name, and I don't have much past like one scene in my mind and a little bit of the design, family, relationship. We're gonna say unknown at this point. It's okay to say you don't know. You can write around, at least for a while, you can write around some I don't know points in your writing. It's okay to not know everything. I think it's actually probably good to not know everything. If you figure it all out at the beginning and whatnot, you might end up rushing through an entire character's arc before the arc has even really happened, right? You might build them up so much in your head that you go a bit overboard and then they just sit there. Problem relationships. We're just, again, keeping up with, you know what, let's probably should move down here, right? That's more of a problem relationship than an actual relationship. Mentor is closest thing to family. We'll learn, at least for 3 of the members of the protagonist gang, they will all be orphans in a way. In one way or another, they are kind of orphans. Okay, employment school. Okay, we have the barber shop and barber academy. Economic status. We're just going to put nomad at this point because I'm not 100% sure what her village should be considered. Because they're gonna be wealthy in some ways and not at all in other ways. Pets and plants. No pets. Let's say a collection of mushrooms. So some fungus over pets. Personality. Friendly to a fault. Friendly to a fault. Going back to that sort of listening so well that you forget to respond or just never do respond sort of deal. So we'll say friendly to a fault. And keeping up with that, putting the mask on others before yourself type of mindset. So on airplanes, when they tell you to make sure that you have oxygen yourself before you would help anyone else, that's her kind of mindset. What is distinctive about them? Physically, let's see here. Missing arm. And there's going to be something with that missing arm here. As I'm working through this list, I think that I have figured out what, and good thing it's the next thing here because it's going to work out quite nice. I've figured out at this point, as I'm going through everything here, what her power is going to end up being, which is good. I'm happy that happened here. Physical, missing arm. overly protective of mushroom. No. Let's see here. Let's see here. What could work? What's distinctive about them? Okay, yeah. So the power we're gonna go with is her abilities, her powers are going to be based on mushrooms. So she's going to have mushrooms growing out where her arm should be and where her chest was injured. And that'll play into her abilities. In Underlord, there are these chests you can find. Sometimes they're buried, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they might just be floating through the sky as if they weighed absolutely nothing. And there's a whole market on trying to find these things, because when you open them, you'll find a note. And once you read that note, depending on what chest you open, you will get a power of sorts. And there's going to be some different things with those powers that we'll talk about at another time. I don't want to spoil them until things are set in motion and at least a few issues are out. But we'll talk about those later. So hers is going to be revolving around mushrooms. So we're going to call it magic, and we'll say magic / powers for now. Because it's both and also neither. So take that as you will. So it's going to be based on mushrooms, and we're going to have some fun sort of things like with that. Her powers were down to either bubbles or mushrooms. Yes, neither of those sound super intimidating or exciting at first, but we are definitely going to make sure that we have some fun with it. And speaking of fun, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Fun himself, Ichthus. What is up, Total Excellence? What is up with you, Total Excellence? Thank you so much, friend, for stopping by tonight. I really appreciate that, Ichthus. For those of you who don't know, first of all, shame on you. Second of all, you need to go check out Ichthus's channel. On Sunday nights, he does Sunday Fun Day coloring and does these absolutely incredible pieces. Absolutely incredible. The man is so talented. Whether you want to go watch him or you need to watch him so that you can decide to go pay this man to color for you, you got to check him out. You got to check out his channel and go check out Official Ichthus on both Instagram and Twitter. The man just has too much talent. He has too much talent. Got to check him out. All right, here. So back here. Yeah. So we're gonna go with mushrooms, and I want this to be a sort of set it and forget it. Well, take away the quote here. Set it and forget it. Poison over time and heal over time. Food source. So this character we're working on here is going to have a range of abilities based in mushrooms. And I'm gonna say that this is going to be hard to develop. And again, these are just things that I'm thinking up here as I'm working on this. What all could we do with mushrooms. All right, so we're also going to put psychedelic. And if I butcher any spelling of anything, it is because I'm bad at spelling. I'm a writer who's bad at spelling. Yes, yes. Okay. Anyway, go away, Grammarly. Yeah, okay. So when I'm thinking mushrooms, I'm thinking something that can point. She would be able to like plant a mushroom on the ground, and it would release, depending on the mushroom, it could release some poison-based spores or some healing over time spores. Nothing that's like super strong all at once, but staying by it would help you. But it would help whoever's standing by it. Food source, psychedelic, just maybe not something that's super great for combat. Well, actually, it probably would be if you gave it to the right person. But just different sorts of things that we can do with mushrooms. I want most of the lead cast, the protagonists, to have abilities that aren't necessarily the best seeming for combat, but I want to make them like JoJo characters, seeing as how we're using Araki's sheet. I want them to outsmart their opponent. And I don't want them to always just outpunch their opponent. So if I can come up with some abilities or weapons or characteristics that allow them to do that, I'm going to go with that. Strengths and weaknesses. Fears can overtake her will. So some of those fears that we talked about, they might affect her willingness to do things. Or again, fire. She has an ability that's based in plants. So if someone has any sort of fire-based abilities, they can take it out like that. I guess these are, we'll put the W here for weaknesses. Strength can help hurt. Strength, versatile, ability. So here I put for weaknesses, fears can overtake her will and maybe make her significantly less useful. Fire, again, can take out her mushroom abilities very easily. And it's something that can be produced by people with both fire-based abilities and just a normal person can make fire fairly easily. Strengths can help or hurt multiple people at once. So when she plants her mushroom, depending on what kind of mushroom, she can either help multiple allies at once or hurt multiple people at once, depending on the mushroom and the spores being released. It's a versatile ability, so she can, it's not just combat based, she can also produce food and things like that. And we're also going to put as a strength, give killer haircuts, since she is a barber. Let's see here. This says, thank you so much for the shout out, buddy. I really appreciate your kindness and support. Oh man, I'm just throwing back what you're giving. I'm just giving it back to you, man. This is for those of you who don't know, he is genuine. He is so sincere. He will check up on people randomly, unprovoked. The man has just got such a pure, good heart. It is an honor to know him. He is the type of person that you want to know, and you've got to follow him. He's incredibly talented, and he is incredible at being a person. Neos Productions, the brilliant star that shines tonight, the sharp thorn in the side of crime, Riser Man stands before you. Hey, how's it going, Neo? I'm always happy to see how people go about making their characters. Me too, man. Me too. That's why with this Inherited Soul event coming up for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure tomorrow, I figured I'd try and use Araki's method. That's what you're seeing here. Well, I have it on a Google Doc. His sheet looks way cooler than this, than a bunch of bullet points, but I figured I'd just give it a shot. Why not? Celebrate a series I enjoy by making my character in a way that is similar to someone who I respect. If this is good, people, yes, you're dang right he is. You are too, Neo. You are too. You've got a great personality. Great personality. You're always out here supporting people. Neostar Productions is also a great individual. He's very supportive of other creators. He's got a character and series that he's working on, Riser Man. No, wait. Can you write the full title in the chat, Neostar? Because I don't want to butcher it. When he posts the full title, I'll add that here. But solid dude, very supportive of other creators. Definitely someone you should check out. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, here you go. Neostar Productions. Henshin Hero Riser Man is Neostar's book. So go follow him on Twitter. Go check it out. Go see what he's about. See this come to life. And we've got the Juke Joint coming in. Hey, Juke Joint. Hope you're doing well, man. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate everyone coming in tonight. Like I said, just a chill hang. Appreciate having you in the chat. All right, so for those of you just coming in, we are creating a character in the style of Hirohiki Araki. Well, sort of in the style of Hirohiki Araki. You can check out, if you type in Hirohiki Araki character sheet into Google, you will be able to get his character. Actually, I think I have a version of it right here. Yeah. Pop it up. It was the thumbnail for the picture there. Let's see. Oh, goodness. Okay, here you go. Let's move it here. Switch second. Oh, boy. Come on. Yeah. Share screen. It's just not going to let me do it. The stream is bugging out. Oh, we're back. Okay, good. Sorry about that, friends. Let's see here. We've got Neostar Productions. That's a JoJo fan. This is right up my alley. Neo, you are good people, man. I am so happy that you are also a JoJo fan. Who's your favorite JoJo? This is very important. Well, yeah, it can be manga and anime, or it can be all across the board. I gotta know. Let's see here. Gold SP9. I thought this was a transmission for the event, but I ended up liking your stream. Dude, that is so nice. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words. You are thebomb.com. Oh my gosh. Is it finally gonna show? There we go. So let's see here. I'll switch this over like this. So this is Araki's sheet that he uses, or at least a version of it. I think someone typed it up. So if you're able to see it, it might be a little blurry right now. I'm sorry, friends. Like I said, you can Google this as well and print it off and use it for yourself. This is how he comes up with his characters for JoJo, which is pretty stinking dope, I gotta say. go back here. Let's see here. Juke Joint says, I'm trying to design 3 characters for a writer currently. Fun, but also frustrating. Juke Joint, I'm sorry, man. I appreciate what you're doing for the writer you're working with. I don't know who it is or what the deal's like, but I know from talking with different creators that are different artists that it can be very frustrating because a lot of people on my end don't seem to they don't seem to be giving you all enough information, or they don't give they don't give yeah, they just don't give any reference pictures or enough information. Whenever I'm sending any information to like Bill Jersey or the girl who's designing some Underlord characters, or my buddy Brandon who's working on Bump Back, they're always shocked at how much information I give them because I want to make their job easier and I want to get what I want. So I'm sorry that it's frustrating for you. I'm rooting for you. I'm hoping that things get a little bit simpler for you. Let's see here. Neostar Productions. Joseph Joestar is the GOAT. Hamon Master, stand user, and veteran adventurer. Man, he's pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. He is dope. He is dope. Joseph is pretty freaking badass. Juke Joint says, just figuring out how I want the look. I got 2 done. Oh, nice. So you're 2 out of 3 there. All right, man. All right. Well, I'm rooting for you on that last one. I hope it comes nice and smooth to you. All right, here. We'll head back onto the sheet here. Hobbies for Miss Cameron, our mushroom-wielding barber, soon to be criminal extraordinaire. Let's see here. What hobby? So, like I said, we're coming up with this character on the spot here. A lot of this is just as it's flowing through my head. Some of this stuff is subject to change. Some of it's going to stay. Some of it might be different. Who knows? Obviously, things like dreams for the future, that's something that I really want to take my time with. So I don't want to write something that is going to be deleted for that. I want to really, really think about that. All right, so hobbies. I'm gonna say poker, competition of any. No, I want her to be chill. So we'll stay with poker, and we'll say sit and chill games. Whatever those might be, that is what we want her hobbies to be. Sit and chill. And let's say painting and drawing. So let's make her a bit of an artist. Give her some hobbies that allow her to just sit back and relax with her day. Not overcomplicate her day. Neostar Production says, I love coming up with characters almost to a fault, mostly because I don't have to flesh them all out at once. Oh, yeah. Dude, creating characters is so freaking fun. So fun. I have a blast with it. That's part of the reason I love working with Nicholas Moeller right now on Sunchild is, Sunchild exists in the world of Demon Hunter Raven, but in the small corner that exists for Sunchild in that world, I get to do pretty much whatever I want. I get to come up with the characters I want, and Nick is gracious enough to be to just be in on it. Like he's such a great dude who is, cheering me on as as I'm giving him more work to do. The man's got 5 kids to feed, and he's still busting his butt. Time to flesh. Oh yeah, yeah. No, I feel you, man. The time to properly put these characters together is insane, insane. But that that's also the beauty of writing not always being quote unquote writing is we can just walk around and obsess all day. These artists, in order to progress in art, they kind of need to be at the table or wherever they do their art. We get to think about it all day. Juke Joint, I'm working with Eric Mogul, aka X Zero, in the Draw and Talk Discord, so that's easy. I'm just neurotic for getting it to look how I see in my mind's eye. Oh yeah, man, I get you. I get you. Hey, but that's good though. I mean, I understand it's got to be frustrating. It's got to be frustrating, but I can appreciate how much you care, right? It shows how much you care, and I admire that about you, and I respect that coming from you, and I'm excited to see what you end up putting together. I hope I hope you're happy with it. I hope you're happy with it, and I'm sure we will be. Ichthus says, "I can't wait to read Sunchild." Man, I can't wait for you to read Sunchild. I've already told you. I can't remember. I think it was a private chat. Um, that there's one character in particular for Sunchild that I've mentioned to you and I've mentioned to Nick that I don't want to reveal them until we can reveal them on your stream because I want you to do the colors for some sort of flavor piece or promotional piece so bad because I think that you will just knock them out of the park. I see you coloring them. When I imagine them, I see you coloring that promotional piece, whatever it will be. And we'll talk about that later. But yeah, you are you are bump back family and you are sunshine. You are just family. Like this, you are just family. Any number of my stories, you are a part of that. If you aren't from the beginning, I will find a way to make you a part of it. Extended or immediate. Clothing style. Okay, so I want to go with maximum levels of casual. Loose fitting clothing. Not just to color her missing arm. So yeah, I want Camry to be a super casual character. One of the characters who she'll be friends with is very much into comfort. I want Camry to just be easygoing, right? The character who's super into comfort, who you'll see down the road here, hopefully, um, he's kind of a hothead at the same time. He's very much about maintaining his comfort, and if he's slightly uncomfortable, he loses his temper. Like his nickname is Petty. His his nickname is Petty, and it's because he will become very petty if he loses his comfort. But I want Cameron to be the calm, chill presence in the game. So we're gonna stick with that. We're gonna make sure that she is maximum levels of casual at all times. Oh, not just to cover her missing arm, injured body. And again, for those of you who are new, we're creating this character on the spot here. She's going to be a character who has unique sort of mushroom-based powers, and she's missing an arm. She's, we're just these little things that we're putting together here that eventually will swirl together into a full fleshed out character. We're not creating a full fleshed out character tonight. Right now, we're creating that first image in our head that I'll be in my head that I'll be obsessing about as I come up with more things for her. Ichthus says, "Oh man, I can't wait to do the promotional piece. I'm honored and blessed to be part of your family." Oh heck yeah, man! I'm honored. I'm blessed. I am very, very honored and blessed. Neostar Productions, mushroom powers. Interesting. So I'll tell you, I wanted, and I can't remember if you were here, Neostar. I'm sorry, buddy. Um, but at the earlier on in the stream, I had said that I wanted the protagonist heroes to not have typical battle abilities. Now, someone might in the future, someone might who joins the gang might have typical sort of battle powers and abilities, and the sort of Luffy of the team is very much a fighter, but I wanted their powers to not be typical warrior powers. And so I thought mushrooms would be fun, especially because I'm watching a series called, or I just watched the first season, I should say, on Netflix called, I'm gonna butcher it, Doro Hidoro. And the main antagonist, it's a super fun series, by the way, super fun series. But the main antagonist, his magic was mushrooms. I thought that was really interesting. And I had just watched Golden Wind recently, which is the fourth season slash fifth part of JoJo's, and there was a character who had fungus type ability, and I thought that was really interesting. So I those sort of came as inspiration for that, and I'm just seeing what I can do different and make her have some fun scenes with that. The one of the other protagonists, not the one that I just shared on Twitter, not Carly, but one of the other ones is going to have candle-based abilities. So again, something that's not exactly a warrior power, but we're going to create warriors in this game. Let's see here. Clothing style was so loose fitting. I think we pretty much got the, we'll say sneakers. Just to add it, some little things to keep in my mind as we're going here. Likes. Easygoing people and situations. Let's see here. Being in nature. Dislikes. Large parties. Feeling, let's see here. Knowing that people are walking behind her. And then for some of these likes and dislikes, I like to just throw in random things as well. I think it adds a little something, even if it's not important to it. Let's see here. Neostar Productions. The Green Day stand that dissolves people's bodies with spore mold. I remember that episode. Yeah. So even if her power isn't quite like that, the sort of idea of the spores and mold and mushrooms from Doro Hidoro all sort of came together in my mind. And I'm like, okay, what can I do with something similar? So that's sort of where my mind's at with that. Nothing wrong with that. Superpowers are just as much about the how as the what. Exactly. Yes. Couldn't agree more, my friend. Could not agree more. Let's see here. Hot coffee. So she's going to dislike hot coffee. Why? Give her a quirk here. Likes. Sleeping in trees. There we go. Okay. We gave her a quirk for a dislike and a quirk for a like. Are we going to be blatant with these? Probably not. Is she going to grab a cup of coffee at some point, put it in the freezer, and go sleep in a tree without saying anything about it? There's a good chance. All right, here. And then we have, oops, let's see here. Okay, let's make sure. Other wine, food, supernatural abilities, attune to spirits, dialect, etc. So, as I mentioned earlier, there are going to be some things that you'll learn about the powers later on, but I don't want to reveal all that right now. I will say that the power system in Underlord takes inspiration from both JoJo's as well as One Piece and Black Clover. And I guess you could also say Dorohedoro, I guess. So take that as you will. Maybe also a little bit of Pokemon. We'll say that. But I don't want to reveal too much at first here. I want that to sort of be something that we learn about over time in the story. Or I might reveal on a stream later on, but I want a couple issues of the story out before I do that. Unspoken for Supernatural. We'll just put that for now. Dialect. Nothing really. Nothing in terms of dialect. So this is just other stuff. We're going to say foods with low ingredients or with few ingredients. As few words said as needed. So for here, part of the reason why I'm saying as few words said as needed is because I want her when she's interrupting someone, when she's talkative, when she's really having a moment where she's given a big monologue or speech, I want that to mean something, right? I want when this character finally snaps on somebody, I want that to be like an oh shoot moment, like stuff's going down here. That's something I want to consider with her. All right. So, dreams for the future is the one thing that I did not answer. Okay. Dreams for the future. That is difficult for me. That is so difficult. Let's see here. Neostar Productions. Candle powers A. So the power of wax generation constructs. That could certainly be useful. I think Mr. 3 from One Piece had that power too. Yeah. So a bit like Mr. 3 from One Piece. I use them. So I'm gonna keep that up while I'm talking about it. Yeah. So he'll definitely be an inspiration, as well as a couple other characters from different series, and just seeing like how. So obviously, Candle powers are not Camry's powers, but for that character, like how would that particular character use the ability? Because one of the things, like you said here, superpowers are just as much about how as the what. I'm thinking, how would each of these characters use their powers? And in the context of becoming these great criminals, would they use their powers differently than someone who, was a superhero in a different series or something like that, right? So just how would someone, for the candle-based person who loves his comfort at all costs, how would he use his power compared to someone else having his power? And that also has to do with the power system. But like I said, we'll get into that. It'll be a fun time, though. It'll be a super duper fun time. Dreams for the future. This is difficult for me. Part of the reason is because this is, I'm trying to do this in one night. Araki definitely takes his time. And like I said, there's going to be some stuff that I'll have to go back and fix or change or add to. Dreams for the future is such an important thing. It's more important than most of the stuff that I did fill out on here. The leader of the gang is going to want to be the Underlord. The second member of the team that we're going to meet is trying to, bring some peace to his area so that he can just hang out in his dark candlelit room all day. At least that's going to be how he presents it at first. I think this is just something that is going to have to take a bit more time. If I did something now, I feel like I'm almost guaranteeing that I'm going to have to delete it. So for that, I don't know. For those writers and creators in the chat, how do you come up with what your character hopes for or dreams for? Let me know in the chat right now. Or if you're watching this later, let me know in the comments, because I'm interested. What do your characters dream of? What do they want out of life? And when you don't know yet, what are your methods for coming up with them? I know mine is obsessing over the character until I figure it out. But I haven't put as much thought into this character as I have for others so far. Carly, Teddy, Chloe, one of the characters that's being worked on right now named Giallo. I know what they want, but that's because they've been on my mind for months. I knew I wanted to create Camry into a character, but I didn't know what kind of character she would end up being until tonight. Let's see here. Good question. He could probably create a house shelter virtually anywhere he wants. He could likely create his own furniture and tools depending on the strength of the wax. Absolutely. And when we meet that candle character, his name is Teddy. He'll have his own sort of constructs of wax, trying to make his perfect sort of corner of the world, and it's going to be kind of like a what's that horror movie, House of Wax? It's going to be kind of like a wax town in a way that they'll come across. But he's good at heart. He's good at heart. As creepy as that town might be, he's a good dude. For Camry though, here I'm struggling, my friends. I'm struggling, but that's all right. That's all right. I think that's just something that we have to think of, right? Even when we're thinking of our own dreams and whatnot, right? We have to really ponder on what we actually want and who we want to be. And I think I need to do that for Camry. Let's see here. Ictus. Ictus says, what I love about character sheets like these is this. You have to have a sit-down time with your character, like interviewing, and they answer for you, either on the spot or takes time answering it. You hit the nail right on the head. Absolutely, you have to have that time with them. You have to have that time with them, and I think I just haven't had enough time with her yet. I haven't had enough time working on her like I have the others. Neostar here says the character's aspiration. Aspiration is not too different for motivation and drive, something a character should probably have established going in. Completely agree. And thankfully, with her here, there's going to be maybe 2, 3, 4 arcs before she would even be introduced. So that's nice. Because Carly will start us off in the story, 1 or 2 arcs. Then Teddy will come in, and then we'll meet Camry down the line here. But yeah, so I think honestly, with that, I think we might just put the sheet on pause here, and unless let's see here, I'm just gonna check something real quick on my side. Yeah, I think this might be the stream tonight, my friends. Ending it here, just shy of an hour and a half. I really appreciate all the people who came in. We had Rebel Comics, Mattia Barbetti, the legend himself, Ichthus, Neostar Productions, The Juke Joint, Gold SP9, all these awesome, beautiful faces stopping by for such a small channel and just an impromptu stream. You all mean the world to me. Anyone who's watching but didn't say anything in the chat, I really appreciate that. It was really nice of you. I hope that this inspired you to go check out Hirohiki Araki's character sheet and try it out for yourself. And I hope that eventually you go check out Underlord when it becomes an official thing. I'm going to put my links here in the chat. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at twitter.com/PaulTWrites or Instagram. Instagram.com/PaulTWrites. You can go follow me at either of those, and I would love to interact with you. Other than that, thank you for stopping by, and I hope you all have a beautiful night. I appreciate you. Thank you for who you are and who you choose to be. Talk to you later, friends. Bye.